Authorities closed a 10-block stretch around the Texas state capitol after several dozen birds were found dead. Officials are conducting environmental tests for gas or chlorine leaks. There were no reports of human injury. The bird carcasses were found before business hours Monday. Homeland Security, the Department of Health and Human Services, and state authorities are monitoring the situation. The Capitol opened on schedule just a day before legislation sessions began. For MSNBC.com, I'm Darryl Brown.
As drivers whiz by the Huntsville-Browns Ferry Road exit on I-65 North, specks of black in the stark white snow are...
And these are common grackles. Look at this.
I called out wildlife biologist Bill Gates of the Wheeler National Wildlife Refuge.
And in Sweden on Wednesday show birds lying dead on the road. An estimated jackdaw birds were found, with a few of the birds surviving. The Swedish Veterinary Medicine Institution is investigating the cause of the deaths, as many of the birds had no visible injuries. Authorities are keeping the carcasses away from the public and taking measures to prevent possible contamination of any illness to humans. The birds found in Sweden
all around the country are still talking about what's going on in Arkansas. The massive bird kill and fish kill, thousands of each found dead in separate incidents, birds falling out of the sky, fish dead in the water. And today, more dead birds, hundreds of them, were discovered just to the south in adjacent Louisiana. Our own Janet Shamlian is in Beebe, Arkansas tonight with more on this mystery. Janet, good evening.
Hey, Brian, good evening. A grisly event believed to be an isolated incident here in Arkansas has now happened again, some 300 miles south of here in Louisiana.
She came around a small patch of trees and onto the sand for her usual walk along the beach. And that's when Dorothy Hobson came upon it, a huge swath of dead fish.
So what's going through your mind when you see all these fish?
I was shocked.
Hobson then grabbed some camera equipment and started taking stills and video. She captured reams of dead fish rolling on shore and piling up just yards from her home on Kent Island, Maryland, along the Chesapeake Bay. Wildlife officials say roughly 2 million of one particular species died very suddenly.
Somewhere 3 miles south of the small town of Morganza, there's a disturbing display of death. Birds of different species, more than 100 of them, scattered all over Highway 1.
We have blackbirds, starlings, sparrows, several species of birds are affected.
In the stark white snow are pretty hard to miss. Upon a closer look, you'll see that there are
hit with fish kills.
This is an extremely large fish kill, and there's many species in there. It's not just one group of fish. There's redfish and trout and flounder. All species have been identified in this fish kill.
Plaquemines Parish officials spotted this massive fish kill on Friday. Hundreds of thousands of dead fish just west of the Mississippi in Bayou Cheland. It came several days after the discovery of a starfish kill in nearby Barataria Bay. And then on Monday, they found this, a dead baby whale.
The water should be above our heads, in fact. The tragedy is that you don't need to be Jesus Christ anymore to walk here on the Sea of Galilee.
Environmentalist Guidon Bromberg and I could walk the floor of the lake because its waters have retreated hundreds of yards.
Making the desert bloom is unsustainable, and the demise of the Sea of Galilee must send that message to Israeli politicians.
This bay should be full of water right up to those rocks. The Sea of Galilee is so low it must be pumped uphill into the Jordan now, the river it should feed. Otherwise its baptism sites would dry up. But the Jordan doesn't flow much further from here.
Just a few miles to the south, this is where the Jordan comes to an end. Its last few drops are drawn off by that pumping station over there for irrigation. Then there's this, Israel's dirty little secret. The Jordan, possibly the most famous river in the world, rises again as raw sewage being poured out of that drain.
Israel's announced an emergency. A lineup of celebrities, including supermodel Bar Raffaeli. Their faces cracking to tell Israelis to save the Sea of Galilee. Israeli authorities deny mismanagement. Instead, they blame the weather.
such a drought of 5 successive years, that's something we never met. And that's also something that statistically is really rare.
On the waters, boatmen who fish for tourists are deeply alarmed.
We used to use the first pier, and then the water level went down, so we brought another one and another one.
And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. And I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. For they are the spirits of devils working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world, to gather them to the battle of that great day of God Almighty. Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth, and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked, and they see his shame. And he gathered them together into a place called, in the Hebrew tongue, Armageddon. And the 7th angel poured out his vial into the air. And there came a great voice out of the temple of heaven from the throne, saying, It is done.